all these years.
I can finally sleep.
After this long, I never imagined I'd be able to say these words, but last week, Playboi Carti actually dropped his album, Music. But let me update you on what happened in the last few months since my last video. 2023, Carti had put out the agenda that he would be dropping his album in 2024, so as the last night ended, fans were disappointed to see the album never came to fruition. Carti came back at the end of January by featuring on Lotto's Blixum. And then Carti started spamming fit pics on his alt again. The music rollout reignited again in late February when multiple different billboards from Spotify were seen promoting Carti's album with his iconic phrases he's been using. The music rollout really ignited again at the beginning of March when Carti casually posted on his story that his album had finally been finished. Then a few days later he started to clear his Instagram. A day later, Carti responded to Kai Cenat's comment on his new post questioning if he would drop on Friday, to which Carti pinned. That's when Carti began to text big streamers in the music scene like Playboi Max, Dabo, and Kai. And then Academics, who's been a spokesperson for Carti for the last few years, revealed that he got to listen to the album and revealed info such as potential features and hinting at a few things that ended up actually being not true.
Is Pierre on there? Yeah. From I didn't hear his tag, but like, you just want to hear the shit with Destroy Lonely. Them shits is on there, but like, you know what I mean? Kendrick is creative directing the whole shit.
But something important to mention is that Axe said Carti wanted to drop again, which we'll circle back to a little bit later.
He said, after I drop this bitch, I'm ready to drop again. And I'm like, okay. Okay.
But anyways, almost the entire day, streamers were waiting on the album like Kai, Dabo, and I'm Dante. And Carti delayed the album a few different times, saying it was because of features being cleared or samples being cleared. Carti started texting Kai updates every so often until Carti finally told Kai to call him, which is when they hopped on FaceTime and he finally previewed some music and gave concrete information as everybody watched in anticipation.
When they wake up. You say goddamn like 2 hours. 2 hours. I'm trying to push that shit. I ain't gonna care. 2 hours. It's just like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Gotta make sure this shit master right, bro. That's one song I just got. That ain't gonna count. That's what it is.
Nigga, drop it. Drop, nigga.
And after like 5 different delays that day alone, Carti delivered music. After the quick success of Music, Carti was already teasing dropping another album called Baby Boy. As in a caption of his post, he put Baby Boy on the way. And also, in a comment on his other post about A$AP Rally, he pinned a comment saying that he would drop back to back. Additionally, Carti liked a tweet on X about Future's infamous drop of Future and Hendrix back-to-back within a week in 2017, insinuating that he would attempt this with his new album Baby Boy. And Carti himself has even said in the past that he wanted to drop back-to-back albums on his Future shit.
Are you gonna drop an album?
Yeah, back-to-back.
Okay, great.
Back-to-back. On my Future shit.
And even recently in the last few years, he has said,
Back to back?
but taking it with a grain of salt, he might be considering it once again. And then an interesting situation unfolded with one of his mentors being Ye. Ye felt like Carti dissed him by excluding him from his new album and instead replacing him with Kendrick Lamar. He also said that their collab project, Carti-Ye, wouldn't be seeing the light of day anymore. And with Carti referencing his ex-wife Kim Kardashian's brand and jokingly saying he wanted a feature with Ye and Kim's daughter North's music, Ye started frantically insulting Carti.
So Carti, tell me this, if Chicago is your niche, you gonna say something? Or you just trying to get vocals on your album for hype? You gonna say something? That's your niece, right? You gonna say something now? But then Carti stupid. This is stupid, bro. It's like you don't know when I'm dealing with my kids. This ain't your niece. This is my daughter. Don't fuck with me, boy. Don't play with me. You letting these white people use us against each other. You letting these use us against each other. I put you on.
Carti didn't seem to care about this until Ye touched on a topic that Carti doesn't play with, being his kids. As academics had said,
he was really pissed off about is like a narrative online. He's like, yo, he said this to me. He said, yo, Ak, I'm gonna keep it real with you. If I see people out in public and if they be like, yo, nigga, you gay, you this, blah, blah, you did that, like, yo, nigga, you wore a thong, you did this. He's like, nigga, I'll probably laugh at him, bro. But he said, I'm gonna be honest, bro. If any nigga ever come up to me saying that shit that I see online where they say to me like I'm a deadbeat, nigga, I'm shooting them in their face. Like he says nothing bothers him than that false narrative about him being a deadbeat, which couldn't be further from the truth.
This is where Ye made Carti break character to say, Ye, shut the up. And at this point is where Carti in the music rollout stands. Ye says she's serious about wanting to end Carti's career, but who knows what will happen from that. Lastly, I was going to give some of my thoughts on the album itself. I enjoyed the album as it's a memento of the 2000s and sort of retro Atlanta scene with a mix of new ground sounds, paying homage to Carti's influences like Lil Wayne among others, which Carti wears like his heart on his sleeve. Although after a week, I felt like it had its weak points. It was more catered towards mainstream audiences, in contrast to albums like Whole Lotta Red, which you can see by certain tracks not fitting a particular theme. And on Hood by Air, Carti literally says,
They wanted this happens to y'all sick, but I told them I'm coming normal.